You know what? It's sad. This is the state capital. This should be a model city. And when it's toxic, it's because somebody is not doing their job. And when you don't do your job, you're fired.
For 54 years, the city of Sacramento operated a gun range in the otherwise quiet Mangan Park neighborhood. The bullets kept flying despite many red flags about lead. There are an estimated 10,000 gun ranges across the U.S. They can be operated safely, but if they have poor ventilation or other safety issues, they can also be breeding grounds for lead poisoning. Our investigation found that in 2002, California's Department of Public Health learned of a city worker who contracted potentially deadly lead poisoning at the Mangan Range. Airborne lead inside the facility was also measured to be 80 times above federal standards, but the state agency decided not to refer the case for an inspection, which likely would have closed the range. Then, in 2012, a consultant told the city in a report that the gun range's exhaust fans appear to vent indoor air to the outside without any filtration. The report noted that around roof vents, appropriate measures should be taken to ensure this area is treated as contaminated. Despite the warnings, the city allowed the gun range to stay open nearly 3 more years. The Mangan Range was finally padlocked in January 2015. But the city waited another 15 months to test around the building. A hazardous ring of lead was found to encircle the former gun range.
Neighbors are upset. This gun range has been closed for about a year and a half, but yet it's just been sitting there empty, and somehow there's lead outside of it. So neighbors fear that there could be lead in their yards. They want to know what city leaders are going to do to clean it up.
I live 65 feet away from the facility. I live 71 feet and 6 inches from my yard to the facility. And then you tell me we put the fence up, this is going to be the exterior or the barrier of the lead contamination.
The director over here said that they were going to extend their testing across the street, but stop at the sidewalk. Why stop at the sidewalk? People live on the other side of that sidewalk. That's where his house is.
If I lived across the street, based on the data I've seen so far, I would not be concerned with living across the street.
Look, I'm a retired Marine. I was in for 30 years. When I first started shooting, nobody knew anything about lead. Okay, believe me. I've been around lead my whole life, on ranges and everything else. I'm going to fix this, okay? But I also need to tell you, lead is not plutonium.
It's just right there. Yeah. And then we always have the breeze right here. Always had that delta breeze. So the wind is always blowing. So I used to think, oh man, every evening we used to sit out here, all that particle or whatever probably came over.
Despite the pledge to, quote, fix this, it took the city months to begin testing neighborhood homes. 12 were found to be contaminated with lead above levels that Cal EPA says is safe for kids. Now, more than a year after making that pledge, no one has bothered to send Sandra Lovario the test results, so we brought them ourselves. What I've got here is the results from when the last lead test of your home. Any level over 80 needs to be basically is not considered not safe for an area where kids might be playing, right?
Yeah.
So we got lots of levels here. This one's something around here was around 132, and then 111.
That's on my garden area.
On your garden area, right where I'm standing, 145.
This is where we sit.
This tree here,
Uh-huh.
around this area, was 189.
Oh my God.
How old are your grandkids?
Well, Daisy's 13 now and Isaiah's is 11, but they grew up back here. Their birthday parties were always back here. Our family barbecues were always back here. Everything happened back here. And a little boy, he's out here all the time.
Do you have any concerns that Isaiah might have some issues because of lead exposure?
Well, he got diagnosed with ADHD or whatever that's called. He's hyperactive. About maybe 2 years ago. So they put him on medication.
He's on medication. Do you think that that's connected to the
I
lead?
don't know. Don't know.
If it was connected to the lead, I mean, how upsetting would that be to you?
Very upsetting because it happened at my house. I'm his grandma. I'm supposed to take care of him.
The most long-standing are neurological problems, and with children it can be permanent developmental delay. And that's a terrible shame because that's a lifelong burden for that individual and for their family. For any person with either a professional responsibility or a governmental responsibility, once you know there's a problem, if you don't take the appropriate next action, you personally are making it worse.
Yeah. 7 months from when they first discovered that there was lead outside of the building to when they finally tested the homes.
Yeah.
And is that necessary? I mean, it seems like you should be able to do this like almost instantaneously or really quickly.
When it might be a serious problem, this can be done really in a few days on a rush service when you really want to know.
Like, how much do people talk to you? I mean, you feel it doesn't feel you don't.
No, I'm not informed. They don't come out. They don't send letters. You know, keep you updated what's going on or what they're doing or.
And has there been anyone who's kind of curious about your family's health or anyone?
No.